Something felt different at Estadio GNP. Seguros and people could feel it long before BTS even appeared. This wasn't just another concert night in Mexico City. It didn't feel like a tour stop. It didn't even feel like an event. It felt like something was building, something bigger than music, something no one could fully explain yet. And the strangest part, nothing had even started. Hours before the gates officially opened, the streets around the stadium were already overflowing. Not crowded, overflowing. Entire blocks were covered in purple light. Army bombs lit up sidewalks, roads, even rooftops. Vendors were shouting, fans were singing, banners stretched across fences, and the sound of fan chants never really stopped. It just kept evolving. There was no countdown, no announcement, no signal, but somehow everyone was already in sync. Groups of strangers locked arms and sang together. People who didn't speak the same language were chanting the same names. Fans were laughing, crying, recording, shouting, sometimes all at once. And yet nothing about it felt chaotic. It felt connected, like thousands of separate stories suddenly merged into one. Some fans said it felt like a festival. Others said it felt like a celebration. But a few kept repeating the same word, historic. At first, that word didn't quite make sense. Not yet, because nothing had happened. No stage, no performance, no BTS, just anticipation. But that anticipation kept growing and growing until it reached a point where it almost felt like the stadium couldn't contain anymore. And then everything changed. The moment BTS stepped onto the stage, the entire atmosphere detonated. Not cheering, not screaming, detonated. The sound hit like a physical force. Fans later said they didn't just hear it, they felt it in their chest, in their arms, even in the ground beneath their feet. Phones shook. Cameras trembled. Audio clipped. Instantly, under the pressure of tens of thousands of voices exploding at once. And within seconds, the internet caught up. Clips began flooding TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at an insane pace. No context, no explanation, just raw energy. And one question repeated everywhere: how is this just a sound check? Because nothing about it felt like rehearsal. It felt like a climax, like something you're supposed to build toward, not start with. But instead of slowing down, the energy kept climbing. And then something unexpected happened. The focus shifted, not to the group, not to the performance, to one person, Taehyung. At first, it was barely noticeable. A few cameras zooming in, a slight rise in crowd noise. But within seconds, something clicked across the entire stadium. Everyone saw it at the same time, and no one could unsee it. He looked different, not in a loud way, not in a dramatic transformation, but in a subtle, almost unsettling way. The kind of change that makes you look twice, then look again, and then suddenly realize something has shifted. It started with his hair. Under normal lighting, it looked dark, but under the stadium lights, there was something else, a hidden tone, silver, ash, almost metallic. It wasn't obvious from every angle, but when the light hit just right, it changed everything. Suddenly, his entire presence felt colder, sharper, more controlled, and fans noticed instantly. Within seconds, clips zooming into his hair began circulating. Screenshots spread like wildfire. People slowed videos down frame by frame just to confirm what they were seeing. And once they saw it, they couldn't stop looking. But it wasn't just the hair. It was everything. The oversized black hoodie, the dark sunglasses hiding his expression, the red microphone standing out against the purple glow of the crowd. Every detail felt intentional, calculated, and yet effortless. But the most powerful part? He barely moved. No dramatic gestures, no big expressions. just presence. And somehow, that was enough to hold the attention of an entire stadium. Fans started saying the same things over and over. He feels different, more mature, more distant, more powerful. And then, the theories began. Online, speculation spread faster than the videos themselves. Some fans believed this was a hint, a spoiler for something new, a shift in concept, a new era. Others thought it was personal, a reflection of growth, a change in mindset. And some simply said, he's evolving. No one had answers, but everyone had opinions. And every opinion added fuel to the moment. Then came the moment that changed everything. It lasted less than 2 seconds, but somehow it became the most talked about part of the entire night. Taehyung lifted his hand slowly, almost casually. He adjusted his hair, just slightly, then lowered his head. That's it. No words, no performance, no emphasis. And yet, the reaction was instant, explosive, uncontrollable. The crowd erupted so loudly that multiple recordings broke at the same time. Audio distorted. Microphones failed to capture the full volume, and within minutes that moment was everywhere. Clipped, looped, zoomed, edited, analyzed. People replayed it over and over again, not because they missed it, but because they couldn't fully process it. And interpretations? Endless. Some said it was confidence. Others said it felt emotional. Some believed he was communicating something deeper without saying anything at all. And while all of that was happening, something else was quietly unfolding. Jungkook. His energy was completely different. Where Taehyung felt distant, Jungkook felt close. Where Taehyung felt intense, Jungkook felt warm. His expressions were softer, more relaxed, more open. And then he smiled. The reaction shifted. Instantly, not louder, but deeper. The kind of reaction that doesn't explode. It sinks in because that smile felt real, unfiltered. And when he started singing, everything changed. The stadium became one voice. No delay, no hesitation. Thousands of people singing in perfect unison. His vocals carried across the entire space, clear, emotional, steady. And suddenly it didn't feel like practice anymore. It didn't feel like preparation. It felt like the real thing. And that's when the realization hit. This wasn't just a sound check. It never was. The energy was too strong. The emotion was too genuine. The scale was too massive. Everything about it felt complete, like a moment that didn't need anything else. And then it happened. All 7 members stood together. BTS as one. No choreography, no production, no effects, just presence. And somehow that was the most powerful moment of all. The stadium didn't explode this time. It softened. Fans raised their light sticks higher. Some stood still. Others simply watched, taking it in, understanding, even if just for a second, that they were witnessing something rare. And outside, the impact was just as intense. Mexico City had completely transformed. Hotels were full, restaurants packed, streets alive with movement. Even people who weren't fans came just to experience the atmosphere. The city wasn't hosting the event. It became part of it. And the most unbelievable part? The main concert still hadn't started. Now the question isn't what happened, it's what's about to happen. Will this become the biggest show of the tour? Will this moment be remembered years from now? Will this night turn into something legendary? Because after everything that just happened, it doesn't feel like a possibility. It feels inevitable. This wasn't the beginning of a concert. This was the beginning of something much bigger. And somehow, everyone there knew it, even if they couldn't explain why.